What's up, everybody? Tyson Roush. Let's talk Jets. Hope everybody's having an excellent weekend. The Jets got their first win of the season, but it was not easy and it was not pretty. But a win is a win nonetheless in the NFL, and you got to take it and embrace it and enjoy it. But a lot to cover here. I'll probably miss some of the stuff. It's hard to get it all when you're streaming. But, one of my biggest concerns going into this game is that the team was going to be a little bit overconfident, where they felt like they could just step on the field and win games like that, almost like an arrogant play. And it seemed like early on in the game, it was like that, where the defense is getting pushed around, Ridley scores a touchdown, the offense looked dazed, confused, and predictable, and it was sloppy, and you're like, what is going on here? And the Jets did enough things wrong to lose. They did enough things to win. It was like, the Titans helped them out in a lot of ways. So I guess we'll go down position by position. Aaron Rodgers, this is the first time in a long time in the fourth quarter where you actually had faith in the quarterback. Like, listen, we have a quarterback that's going to win us this game. This guy has been there, done that, and can make all the money throws and could lead this team with a calm nature that you had a sense of confidence. So you had early on, it was ugly, some bad throws. The one thing I genuinely don't understand is what in the hell is going on with these delayed games. The Jets were hit with 2 delayed games, and they wasted 2 timeouts in the second half on delayed games. Whether it's the play calls getting in late, whether it's Rodgers not seeing it, whatever it is, you've got to clean that up, man, because that could have come back and bit him in the ass, later on. But again, he made some incredible throws. The one throw to Brees for a touchdown was sick. He made a couple throws. You're just like, wow, this is it. The throw to Mike Williams was awesome. So you saw a lot of, you see that Rodgers is getting back. He's, shaking off the rust, getting comfortable with his players, getting in sync with some certain receivers. You'd like to see him spread the ball out a little bit more. Like Conklin's still not involved. Williams only, I think, had 2 targets. The one was an enormous catch on 2nd and 15. Garrett's going to be Garrett. But you kind of see him want to do more. The offensive line at times struggled. Rodgers was getting hit quite a bit, especially in the first half. It seems like when the big plays happen, especially the running plays, they seem to be going off to the right behind AVT and Morgan Moses. I didn't look at all the tape and study it, but it just seems like my initial reaction seemed like the splash plays went to the right side. Then they definitely tried to run the ball a lot. I know the one big play the Jets gave up a big sack was on Tippmann. But again, this is an offensive line that hasn't played together. So this is their first year playing together. It's going to take time. But, it's in crunch time, they all did what they had to do. The running backs, Brees is just Brees. But the one thing, and Romeo mentioned it on our stream, was like when you have Brees and Braylon in the backfield at the same time, even the one touchdown where he faked it to Brees and threw it to Braylon, the defenses are caught off balance. They don't know how to defend it. And then the second half later on, they went back to the one-back set again. But, Braylon Allen had his first 2 touchdown game, which was incredible. He gets to the edge, man, and he just takes off. For his size, his explosive nature is great. He showed off some hands, too. He had the one drop, but he showed off some hands, which is really exciting. Overall, the offense is just a work in progress. Some of the things with Hackett, like the one shot they took on 3rd down, 3rd and 2, they went long. Rodgers took a deep shot to Lazard, where I would have rather did that on 2nd down. 2nd and short, you take the long shot. 3rd and 2, you change your play call, but it worked out for him. Again, like I said, there's a lot of things that went wrong. We're like, man, this team, in the stream on our chat, people are like, we suck, we're terrible. And then things happen where you're like, all right, this is something to believe in. Defensively, ugly. You go into the game, DJ Reed was out, inactive. Eccles played, and Eccles basically saved this game for the Jets. The Jets were down 7-0. The Titans were marching. Will Levis fumbles the ball. He throws it away recklessly. So the Jets, they should have been down 10-0 at that point. They go back, they get a 3-and-out. But then Will Levis throws a deep pass, and Eccles intercepts it. And that changed the entire tone, where the team kind of woke up and they started rallying right there. They marched down the field, they scored a touchdown and tie it. But that interception was huge for Eccles. So they were out without DJ Reed. Early on in the game, C.J. Mosley went out. So you saw a lot of Chaz Surratt, a lot of Jamie and Sherwood. They kind of had to deal with that. But then the big injury was Jermaine Johnson, which is just heartbreaking, which as of this video, they're saying it's probably an ACL, where, for this entire offseason while this Reddick thing was going on, I kept saying to everybody, you're one Jermaine Johnson injury away from being in deep trouble. Well, now, Will McDonald did have 3 sacks today, but as a whole, this defensive line it's not where it needs to be. No disrespect to, Jalen Holmes. I know Solomon Thomas had a sack, but you just need a more talent. You need more explosiveness. And losing Jermaine Johnson is brutal, dude. And I know everybody's like, well, sign Reddick tomorrow. Now he's got more leverage. He's already missed 2 games. It's a mess. And it's unfortunate we're at this point, but we are nonetheless. Some of the other coverages, like the Jets' run defense is still somewhat suspect. Last week when they played poorly against the 49ers, it's like, well, that's a great 49er team. Now it's like, well, that's a solid Titans team. At some point, as a unit, you've got to play a lot better consistently for 4 quarters. But again, this is also where, not to make excuses, they didn't play in the preseason. So it's like, I think, like a lot of analysts are saying this too, like your first 2 or 3 games are like preseason games while you iron out all the kinks. So if you have the ability to win ugly, it's huge, because when you're finally firing on all cylinders, you really see what this team is. Trying to think of what else on defense. Oh, Chuck Clark, the penalties. The penalties in the first half drove you insane. I think the Jets had 3 personal fouls. 2 were on Chuck Clark, and he seems to be at the wrong place at the wrong time most of the time, which is concerning. And you're starting to guess a little bit, like, we understand he missed all of last year to injury, but how long until he gets caught up to speed with this defense? Because it's been rough watching him. Penalties have been bad. I think the Jets in the first half, and they got like 6 penalties or 7 penalties, which is just unacceptable. Other than that, Irv Charles with an enormous punt block. Like I said, there was moments where you were so down on the Jets where you're like, how are we losing to the Titans? Then you get a punt block or you get a big splash play, like, oh, now we're back. Like you're going, it's like a true roller coaster ride of emotions this entire game. But in the end, they found a way to win. And then even like in the fourth quarter, the Jets go ahead and the Titans literally march down the entire field. And you're like, you're 1st and goal. And you're like, how do you get here? And then Will Levis gets loose. And then, to be honest, Sauce Gardner got away with the hold, I think, twice. Like there was things where, while you can complain a lot about a lot of bad calls, like the one Jermaine Johnson roughing the passer penalty, I thought was complete nonsense. But so the calls you're mad about in the first half, you got some in the second half that were kind of favorable. So interesting nonetheless. It's a win. Like that's all I'll say. Like they showed some character. They overcame adversity, and now you're going to have a lot more adversity because now you have your defensive leader, C.J. Mosley's banged up. Jermaine Johnson's lost for the year, and you have a short week against the Patriots who are playing excellent football. But to me, it's like it's your home opener, and these are games you have to win. And I'll keep saying it. Like I understand there's a lot of things going on, but if you want to make a run at the AFC East and you want to make a run deep in the playoffs, these are kind of, you got to beat teams like this to kind of flex your muscles and say, okay, listen, we're going to keep stacking, learning, building, and most importantly, winning. And the one thing coming to this season was the Jets have to learn how to win. Today they did a little bit of that, and now it's like find a way to win Thursday night, and then you get a little mini bye where you get a nice long break to kind of iron everything out and clean it up and play at a much higher level. So I'm sure, like I said, I probably missed some things. It wasn't pretty. It was nerve-wracking. Our stream was complete chaos. You're sweating, you're nervous, you're angry, you're mad. You see a lot of questionable things. You're like, what are we doing? Then you're like, it's week 2. Like it's gonna have to get better. This team will have to get better as they get used to each other and they move on. And that's it. So hope everybody had a good day. Enjoy the win. If you're going Thursday night, tailgatejoe.com. I'll talk to you guys later.